Hello everyone, it is Zapdos and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Go. In this video I'm going to be talking more about what kind of a buddy do you want to get yourself whenever the update actually comes out. Unfortunately it's not out at the making of this video. I hope it's gonna be there tonight or tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't know. But this video will definitely help you out getting your choices sorted whenever it comes down to your buddy Pokemon. So let's just jump straight in. So the reason why I got this idea for this type of video is because on Reddit I saw this Pokemon Go buddy tier list, which is from the PokemonGoHub.net, and I actually have been taking a look at them, and they say that their top 5 is going to be Charmander at first, then Dratini, Omanyte, Kabuto, and Grimer. I do not agree with Omanyte and Kabuto. They are definitely rare Pokemon, so I completely understand that, but I don't think they're that great. And then number 6 to number 10 would be Squirtle, Gloom, Weepinbell, Machoke, and Haunter, which I only agree with Squirtle if it were to be a top 10 list. So with that being said, I'm just gonna give you guys my own opinion on this, and it's basically all opinion based. So if you disagree with me, then feel free to tell me why you disagree with me, and this is just like a sort of a I don't know, just maybe it's gonna help you, I don't know. There's 3 categories in which you want to be getting yourself a buddy Pokemon. Category number 1, to complete your Pokédex. If there's a Pokemon really hard to find, obviously you want to be using candy for the Pokemon you already got. That way it's going to be easier to actually evolve that Pokemon for the next form. Number 2 would be the Pokemon you would want to be getting yourself again. So if you got yourself a Dragonite already, having another Dragonite cannot hurt at all. It's a great Pokemon, of course, so that will be another reason. And reason number 3 is obviously Pokemon that are in general just really awesome Pokemon. And I got a list for you guys about the Pokemon I really recommend, so with that being said, let's actually bring them up. So as far as Pokemon go that I really recommend, which are just great Pokemon in general, are the 3 starters, Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. I don't really recommend Pikachu because unfortunately Raichu is not that strong because speed is almost non-existent and it's not really that great in the Pokemon Go series. So every starter Pokemon would do really well. If you got a great moveset with them, they can really potentially be quite the beast. Next up we got Growlithe. Growlithe and Arcanine. Arcanine has one of the highest, if not the highest attack stat in the entire game right now. So Arcanine can definitely hold his own, especially in gyms. It can just terminate everything. Even if it's a water type, people are gonna have some trouble against Arcanine. Really great Pokemon, definitely recommend it. Dratini, of course, Dragonite, I mean the highest CP Pokemon in the game right now. Would definitely encourage you guys to get that. That's gonna be my buddy. Would love to hear what your buddy is gonna be. Make sure you let me know what your top 3 buddies is going to be in the comment section down below. Make sure you write it right now. Next up we got Exeggutor. Exeggutor and Exeggute. It's gonna be a great gym defender, and it's a grass type. If it has Solar Beam, it's gonna be terminating the Vaporeons really easily, so you definitely want to be getting that one. If on the subject, I don't really recommend Victory Bell that much, but for the same reasons as an Exeggutor, it will definitely do some damage inside of gyms, but Exeggutor is a lot better than Victory Bell. Geodude, Golem I think is a great Pokemon. Like, I can really recommend that one. I have a Golem 88% IV with the best moveset. People have trouble against that thing, even if it's against water. Stone Edge is such a strong attack. You definitely want to get yourself a Golem with Stone Edge. Then we got 2 really beastly Pokemon, which I really recommend. For obvious reasons, I honestly just don't need to explain. Snorlax and Lapras. These are the guardians of every single gym. These are Pokemon that are just so annoying to fight against in gym, so you definitely want to make these your buddy Pokemon. It's gonna be pretty hard to get the candy that you need for this Pokemon because every 3 kilometers you're gonna be only getting 1 candy, and if you're above level 30, it's gonna take you like 6, 8, or 10 candy to just power them up once. So be sure to take that into consideration. And of course, last but not least, if legendaries get released, get candy for those because, you know, you cannot get any more candy any other way. So that's why the buddy system is such a great thing. Let's move on to the next one. The next category are 4 Pokemon that are in general just really rare or just annoying to catch. And these Pokemon, I've been looking around on the web, and these come back every single time in my comment section as well. The first one is Grimer and Muk. Like, that was one of my final Pokemon in my own Pokedex. I've only found 3 Grimers. I was lucky to find a Muk. I'm pretty sure you guys can relate to this. Grimer's just in general just such a hard Pokemon to find. If anybody has a nest with a Grimer around there, you're really in luck there. Number 2 is Koffing and Weezing. Especially in the States, I see a lot of people having trouble with Koffing and Weezing. Here in the Netherlands, we're actually okay as far as Koffing concerned. We do see them appearing from time to time. Vulpix is also one of those Pokemon which doesn't spawn regularly, but you do see it from time to time, but just not enough to the point where you can comfortably get yourself a Ninetales. So I can definitely encourage you guys to get yourself a Vulpix. And then last but not least, Abra. Abra has a fleeing rate of 99%. That means that if you throw a Pokeball and it breaks open, it's gonna run away in 99 out of 100 times. Once have I had the Abra that did not run away, but that is just so extremely rare. But you know, Abra, just for that reason, it runs away, so it's gonna be hard to catch. So obviously it's gonna be more rare to actually obtain an Abra. Even though Abra is not that rare of a Pokemon, the only reason why it is rare is because it runs away that quickly. And the final category of Pokemon that I recommend is just to prepare for the future. Now I'm gonna be making an entire video on this with specifics and ranking with which Pokemon are the best out of these Pokemon, but let me break it down for you guys. The first Pokemon I'm gonna be talking about is gonna be Scyther. Or, yeah, Scyther, because Scizor is a great Gen 2 Pokemon. You definitely want to save up some candy for that. Onix is also one of them. Onix is really weak in Generation 1, but in Generation 2, it develops itself into this crazy monstrous fortress. You definitely want to save up some candy for that, because that thing is gonna be gym defending even better than Lapras and Snorlax. And that is quite the bold statement to make. Number 3 is Horsea. Horsea, Seadra, Kingdra. Kingdra is essentially going to be a mini Dragonite. It's going to be getting the Dragon type with the evolution. So it's going to be a really great Pokemon. You definitely want to be saving up some candy for that one. Chansey, it's just because Blissey's a Gen 2 Pokemon, but I don't think Chansey's all that great. Chansey has a lot of health, but that is literally all there is to Chansey. And Blissey in the next generation is just going to be a little bit better than Chansey, but not by a whole lot, which is really unfortunate. Next up we got Poliwag. Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Politoed. Right now it's Poliwrath, but it's just like an Eevee, it will evolve at random in generation number 2. That's my expectation. And Politoed is an only water type. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a pretty good Pokemon. Next up we got Oddish. Oddish, Gloom, Bellossom. Or Vileplume. So it's gonna be either Bellossom or Vileplume, either one of those two. Same reason as Poliwag. Then we got Slowpoke. Now, I don't really recommend this one because Slowpokes are relatively common, but still, if you want to prepare for generation number 2, Slowpoke, Slowking, or Slowbro. So, Slowking and Slowbro are basically the same Pokemon, but one has special defense, one has special attack, I'm not sure, like, special attack and regular defense, I don't know, it's basically the same Pokemon, just a mirror of each other, but to have them, it's cool. I like Slowking better, personally. Eevee. Umbreon and Espeon. And Eevee to evolve is only 25 candy. It is not going to be that hard. I think Eevee is a tier number 1 or tier number 2 Pokemon, so you're going to be getting some candy for that relatively easily. I don't really recommend it because they spawn so frequently in different areas of the world, but if you got trouble with Eevee, definitely go for that. Next up we got Porygon. Porygon's kind of a hard Pokemon to find in general already. It's hard to get from 5km X because there are so many already. So Porygon's definitely a Pokemon for Porygon number 2. It's not a Pokemon you're probably going to be using, but it's definitely a Pokemon that you want to be getting yourself because, you know, the candy and such. And finally, Zubat. Zubat is just a pain to catch to a lot of people out there. I personally discovered that with the Curveball, it's going to be a lot easier to catch yourself some Zubat, so you may want to learn that. But if you got yourself Zubat, you got Golbat as well, and then you got Crobat. Crobat is going to be the most disappointing Pokemon of generation number 2, because speed doesn't do anything, there's no mean look, and there's no confusion ray. And those were the 3 things that made Crobat such a great Pokemon that doesn't do absolutely anything in Pokemon Go. Crobat is still going to be an offensively strong Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but it's just lacking the things that make Crobat a great Pokemon in Pokemon Go. And then of course, you know, it always comes down to your own opinion. What Pokemon do you need as your buddy? Like, what Pokemon are you really looking for? In the end of the day, this video is just to help you make your choices a little bit easier when it comes down to a certain typing. Of course, just go for the Pokemon you really need. For me, that's going to be Dratini, and then we got Geodude, and we got Bulbasaur, because those are the Pokemon that I personally need a lot. Now, I want to hear your top 3 in the comment section down below. I already asked you guys a little bit earlier, and I also want to know the reason why. Why do you pick these 3 Pokemon as your buddy Pokemon? And yeah, are you guys excited for this update? I really am. I hope it's gonna be there today, tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. Not much longer than that. Niantic, you're keeping us waiting. But that's gonna be doing it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. As always, make sure, if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up. We just surpassed 175,000 subscribers. Here's another gift code. Thank you guys so much. You guys are absolutely the best. And yeah, this has been Reverse for Pokemon Go. I'm gonna be signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.